Could this be? Could this be the thing that everybody's been waiting for? The thing that changes all of real-life situations as we know it? It couldn't possibly be the end of Sister Location as we know it? Who leaked this information? What happened? This could be the most profound history. Oh. Hello everybody, it's Will Ryan of DAGames, and we've just been greeted with a new Scott Games teaser. One that we all pretty much got thrown off. I bet all of us got a little bit thrown off at least with the cancelled due to leaks. Now this kind of goes back to the idea that some of the voice acting from the new Sister Location game is been leaked on the wide world of the internet, and this is backed up by the idea that Scott Cawthon himself made a review of it. However, this could be due to a numerous amount of things. It could be a different game that was being played, or genuinely that voice might not even be in it. It might be another significant horror game in existence, or it could be a movie. It could be anything. But a lot of people speculate that it's to do with Sister Location. So that's why the cancelled due to leaks thing is somewhat significant, because it's really funny. It's kind of troll-worthy. This is what Scott does to us a lot of the time. But it also plays heavily into what's played in the background if you expose the image, which has, look, all of its glory. There's loads of text there. So we're going to go through this and see if we can dissect every little nitpick and cranny, because I kid you not, it's been a long thought process. I've been thinking of all the possibilities of wrong and right, so that you guys don't get it wrong or right. But before we do, we're gonna go and place significance to the beginning description, which is, welcome to Circus Baby's Pizza World, where family, fun, and interactivity go beyond anything you've seen at those other pizza places. Now, other obviously meaning there might be some animosity. There might be something that this place has that is more beneficial to the other place, but either way. Now hiring. Later night technician. Must enjoy cramped spaces and be comfortable around active machinery. Not responsible for death or dismemberment. Well, this is something that actually makes sense, because nearly every advertisement has always stressed the idea of death or dismemberment. But then we get greeted with this teaser. So why advertise a job if it's just gonna cancel? And we find out the information. It says, due to reported gas leaks in the building. So reports. I mean, it could be kept on file. I mean, it could be real. They're only reports. So is this real, or have they been really kept in files? Who knows? Sources close to the establishment question the report, saying that strange activity around the area at night suggests something else is to blame. But who's close to the establishment? The owners and the workers. So we know that there's a few people who are inside of this job. And if they say it's strange, then was there a gas leak? Or was it all a diversion? Was it something to throw people off? And if it was a diversion, why place it inside a news report? It becomes completely inexistent. Somebody would have had to say that. It's a reported gas leak. Someone close, but it wasn't any of the owners, because there isn't any comment yet on the local entrepreneurs, which is said at the end of the picture, and we're going to fast forward to that soon. One local. Wait, who is this local? Could it be a passerby? But how would they know if this is happening if it's been hidden so perfectly? It could be an insider. Everything just stopped. There was so much excitement built around this place opening, and they just stopped talking about it. Now, take it from an insider. They might be saying this because they know how they just stopped talking about it. They could know exactly why they stopped talking about it. Or the passerby, which is lots of news circulating around the excitement. It's as it is. Then they were suddenly blocked off from conversation. Here's the thing. Regardless what could have been blocked off, what stopped them from talking about it? There was only a handful of people that ever got a look at the inside. So if they just stopped talking about it, how would they know that only a handful of people went inside? Kids from here and there, making sure everything worked right, you know? And if we know anything about kids going into a dark place, and we already know that Will Afton is in the source code, Purple Guy is going to take a big hand in this. Maybe he's up to his old tricks, or something genuinely happened to his kids, or possibly that was the plan all along. I guess they weren't quite as ready as they thought they were. Now, outsider's opinion might have based that, yeah, maybe they insinuated that it'd be fine, but it wasn't fine, so that's obviously in the quotes. But if this is an insider, if this is Purple Guy, maybe he's implying subtle messages behind this. Maybe he is saying, I guess they weren't ready for it all along. Which is a bold move, but I'm kind of suspecting if we're going from outsider and insider perspective, we have to think on those lines. Again, this is a fictional game. Anything can go. A tenant from across the street claims to have witnessed a large group of cars surrounding the building during the night, and large pieces of equipment being taken out of the building under tarps. In a story, there are numerous ways that this could have been played out, though, because this is the thing. Scott's been very clever with this. So it could have been claims that happened to be not true and proven different, claims that were made up to start a scare tactic, claims that were made up to destroy reputation, claims that were true and were later found out, claims from an insider all along to make up a story to get them out of trouble or to divert them onto another situation. So there's Scott's given us a whole plethora of details as to what this could be if we speculated into it so much and what the story is, there are so many ways that, plot hole-wise, the stories could go out that way. So there was a large group of cars as well. Why would they need to exist? Why were they there? Might be still an inside job though, and using all the workers to hide the evidence. So if we're thinking of an inside perspective, they might have not involved any sort of law enforcement, and they might have just done this late at night to just hide everything away. Or it might have actually been a problem with the gas leaks. It actually have existed and needed a quarantine station to be built so multiple people could go in and gather the tools. However, a widespread thing like that would have been widely recognized, which might explain why the news reports exist. They might have caught wind of this, and there we go, and they might have speculated all around. It could have been the police. However, no police reports have been speculated in here, so that can be ruled out. Or relatives. Maybe people who worked with the entrepreneur of this place might have known of this situation, and maybe they might have gotten it as a small inside job and gotten the relatives rather than the workers themselves. But here's the thing. Why during the night? It might have happened at night, or it might have happened in another time frame and later wanted to destroy any significance before it started spreading sporadically to the news. But this leads on to the next bit, which is large pieces of equipment being put under tarps. Why tarps? I mean, tarps are normally used to hide things that are dangerously classified or too gory to the outside world. In this particular situation, tarps are normally used to hide your body so it's sheltered. It's like a shelter for camping, but here you go. Sometimes it can be used as a bunker to secure dangerous things, classified things. Could have been a police situation in this state, or it could have been an actual incident and the insiders wanted to not spread the word too far, or the insiders might have known, and they might have used this method as a means to hide the truth that they already know. So they did this late at night. They might have thought, okay, there we go. We're just gonna hide it from absolutely everybody. A few weeks later, the building was for sale. But what happened in those few weeks? It just sporadically was supposed to think that a few weeks just passed by and that's it? That's all it is? Just a big inquiry over fuck all? No, there was something. Maybe in those few weeks, maybe they are your night shifts. Not every single day of the week. It's not going to be that long, but at least 5 of those nights between the week might speculate some sort of story that might have happened. Possibly taking a break to work on new ideas for a new place. You know, that's the kind of thing that happens. Sometimes you destroy a building, a lot of planning and a lot of permissions need to be made. Possibly finding numerous ways of destroying the evidence and finding a new plot device to kill people. So they might have spent that time to really think about their idea. They might have gone, okay, shit's happened. People already know of this. What can we do? Or another possibility, which is the movement took weeks to do. You know, it could have been a long process of things being moved out, because it is a big place. A lot of things will have been needed. But normally I know situations, I mean, I've worked at McDonald's, and I know how moving stuff out of certain restaurants is. It's not that hard. You just need a lot of people. And judging by the funding that this place had a lot of people. But then we play onto the relevance of this picture. You know, could it be after you play the game, or could it be before the game, or could it be side relevance to suggest where we might be? You know, there's 3 speculations there, and normally what we see is there's a news report at the beginning of the game, there's always a news report at the end of the game. You know, there's always something that holds in, but then there's always mini games that go inside there. And maybe this is a telling of all the different mini games. Maybe there's a few things that happen. So a lot of people have actually been telling me, like, how could this actually work in the game? You know, maybe this could work in the game. Maybe if you're currently playing through the weeks of absence, perhaps the gas is something to avoid, and if you get hit by the gas, you get hallucinations. I mean, or you could die. I mean, maybe you have like panic stress levels like in Pop Goes. Perhaps you can utilize the gas to work in your favor. How about you actually like use the gas to maybe like hide out a particular place and maybe cause a fuzz and mist and stuff, but you also have to avoid it by going into the vents, so then that blocks off, so any animatronic that comes through, it's like a safe net for you. But I highly doubt that this stuff works in game mechanics. You know, it's something that exists, and I know it's something that's been put in a Scott season. If I know anything from Scott about the news reports and everything that goes on, he doesn't just shove stuff in there to just be shooed away. You know, even the smallest details kind of need to be taken into account. So gas leaks are still something, and perhaps there might be something to it. And there was no comment yet from the local entrepreneur. But why no comment? You know, maybe it might be possibly not revealing the truth. Maybe they're trying to like make so many different statements to make sure it makes all sense to the human eye. Might still be making a speech. Maybe this might still be relevant. Maybe it is an actual thing that happened, and maybe he's just trying to get through the turmoil and try to sort something out. Might have a genuine fright, you know? That's the thing. That's why I said might have a genuine fright for this and be like, oh, Jesus, something's happened. Maybe I have to think of something, really. But it's going to take weeks because there's loads of planning, etc. Or it might be to do with, I mean, this is a bold one, might be to do with Baby killing the entrepreneur. Because if you remember in FNAF World Update 2, you see the guy at the desk who says, oh, I've created a monster, her name is Baby. And perhaps maybe that's why we don't see anything, because there's no comment because the guy's dead? But again, that's a very bold move. If I was right, then Jesus Christ, that's crazy. If anything, it was just too soon for such an ambitious venture. There is still a bright future for Circus Baby, so be watching for her to appear at a neighborhood party near you. Who said this? Like, we gotta think who said it. The local news report following on, maybe it might be something that we needed to further uncover in the inspect element. You might want it to read on a little bit more, maybe the exercise of reading a book. It may be a later comment from the entrepreneur, so let's say he's not dead, he may have thought about the speech, but it could possibly be that later comment from the entrepreneur suggested by the lack of statement. Maybe an insider saying this, or maybe the game telling you this, or a local passerby. You know, there's a lot of things that can speculate what the definition is, why it could exist. And I know Scott doesn't make this easy for anybody. They put so much into here, which is why nobody can really make a concrete statement. They can think of all the possibilities and see, you know, whether you're wrong or right. But here was where it gets interesting. Neighborhood party near you. Could this be something to do with the source code? Speculating the local parties, because remember, there were so many different different types of absent, available, you know, all those types of things, that they were always there, and there's booked and out of service. There was that animatronic that was out of service. So this might come together. It's like, that's the neighborhood parties. That kind of proves that that's the booking situation sorted. Are we still playing in the factory and fixing these things though? Like, are we at actually Circus Baby's Pizza World, or are we still in the factory? This is a question of tense, you know, are we in the Circus Baby's party world? Because we've already covered the idea that we might still be in there, or we might still be in the factory later on. It's about tense. We don't even know what tense it could be. We're just following on a story. But are we still playing in the few weeks, and the story spreads itself out in the form of minigames? It could still unfold parties in each night, considering how many things in the source code matched up with how many nights you play, and slightly more. Considering I know Scott, he likes to spread around different time zones in the stories. You know, there's a tense for playing the game, and there's a separate tense in the minigames. So you never know. This teaser might be to do with either after the game, during the mini games, or before the game. But that's literally all the thoughts I have at the moment. If you have anything that you want to suggest, put in the comments down below. But I've literally taken this apart piece by piece, even the project title name, and it's still named as Project, and I've taken every significance I could so I could put in the wrongs and the rights. So nothing's wrong, nothing's right at this point, but there's a lot that can get you guys theorizing. That's the art of the theory. You all get to theorize. So, if you like what you saw anyway, click like and subscribe and share with your friends and family, or maybe your dog. I'm Ryan of DAGames. See you guys very soon. Peace out!